Welcome back to our next video based on SQL functions. So in this video, we will try to cover certain functions based on SQL and the questions that we can expect within the board exam that we are going to explain in this video. So we are moving to the first question based on SQL section. So this one is a theoretical question. State any two differences between single row function and multiple row functions. So whenever you are attending any of the theoretical questions based on SQL or based on Python, definitely you need to provide a proper example for that. So here the explanation for the single row functions and multiple row functions that we will discuss as the first step. So what is the difference between single row and multiple row? Single row means they are returning the value based on a specific row. Single row functions work on one row only, whereas multiple row functions group rows. Multiple row functions that will categorize the rows, and based on that we will perform certain operations. So single row functions return one output per row, whereas multiple row functions return only one output for a specified group of rows, one output for a specified group of items. So that's the difference between single row function and multiple row functions. So let's see main difference. So we are going to see what specified within the NCERT textbook. So this one is the difference between the single row functions and multiple row functions that's specified within the NCERT textbook. So just try to write down the main points within the theoretical exam. That's really important. So here you can see the difference that they categorized as a table, and along with that definitely you need to specify an example based on single row function and multiple row functions here. If you are able to provide a complete query as an example, then that will be more beneficial. So here you can see the difference between both the single row and multiple row. It operates on a single row at a time. It operates on group of rows. It returns one result for a group of rows. It returns one result per row. So that's the difference between both the single row and multiple row function. So that you need to stick on to this particular theory. That's enough. For a 2-mark question, this much of theory that we need to specify there, and along with that just try to provide one example. So that's the explanation for that. Then what is the difference between the order by and group by clause when used along with the select statement? Explain with an example. So what is the difference between order by and group by? Order by means we will sort the data based on ascending or descending order. By defaultly, whenever we are using order by clause, by defaultly they will print the data within ascending order. By defaultly they will print the data within ascending order. So here the explanation for order by and group by, that's they provided there. So group by means they will categorize the data based on a specific condition or based on a specific column. So here you can see the order by clause is used to show the contents of table or relation in a sorted manner with respect to column mentioned after the order by clause. The contents of the column can be arranged in ascending or descending order. So either within the ascending or descending order we will sort the data. That's the purpose of order by clause. And then the group by clause is used to group rows in a given column and then apply an aggregate function. So along with the group by, definitely we can use different aggregate functions there. So that's the purpose of group by. Single row function versus multiple row functions, that you need to specify a proper explanation for that, and then along with that you need to specify one example for each section. Based on order by, one example, and based on group by you need to specify one example. So that's the correct pattern for writing a theoretical question. So we are moving to the next question. Select round of 8459.2654. So they are not providing the second value. So how that will be executed, that we need to identify. So they will automatically round it up the value to the nearest integer. So we are going to see how that will be executed there. 8459. So what will be the output? 8459 itself. So here 0.2 that's they provided. So that's why they didn't round up that particular value. So if you provide another value instead of this one, if you provide 5 there, definitely the output will be different. They are round up that value. They are rounding up the value 8460. So they round up the value to the nearest integer. So like that they will round the data. And if you are providing select round of 8459.2654 minus 2. Minus 2 means that's 100 location. So the nearest 100. Here is the nearest 100 is 400 or 500. The nearest 100 is 500. So we are going to counter check what's the result for this query. So the output for this query that we are going to execute 8500. 8500, that's the output. So nearest 100 is 500, so 8500, that's the printed as the output. So that's another example based on the function. And the another question is Anjali writes the following statements with respect to the table employee having fields employee number, name, department, commission. Then select count of start from employee, select count of commission from employee. What's the difference when you are comparing the difference? What will be the output based on count of star and count of field name? So count of star will include the null value. Whenever we are providing count of star, they will include the counting along with the null values. The null values also will be counted along with the count of star. But when you are using count of field name, they will exclude the null value. They will exclude the null value. So that's the difference between count of star and count of field name. So that's another question that we are discussing here. Then we are moving to another one. Consider the following SQL string preoccupied. That's a string that they provided there. Write command to display occupied, and then second one is cup. So you need to extract a string from the provided value. So you need to take the substring from the provided string. So the provided string is preoccupied. So from that you need to retrieve occupied. So how we will do that? Select substring of preoccupied, the original string, comma 4. Fourth location onwards, they will retrieve the value. So occupied, that will be printed. So these are the different syntaxes that's available for retrieving the value occupied. And for retrieving cup, substring of preoccupied, comma 6, comma 3. 6, comma 3. From the sixth location onwards, 3 characters. From sixth location onwards, 3 characters. So SUBSTR. So like that you can provide different functions there, SUBSTR or mid function that you can use there, or either otherwise you can use write function. So different options are available based on this question. So you can use any of these particular strategies for getting the output. So that's another example based on the functions. We are moving to the next question. Select a round of 457.628, comma 2. So comma 2 means that's a positive value. So what will happen? 457.628, comma 2. So the first two decimal point values that will be taken, and after that 5 or above, that's the value that we provided there. So what will be the output? 457.63. 457.63, and the next value is 457.628, comma minus 2. When you are using minus 2, what will happen? When you are using minus 2, what will be the result? Instead of this one, if you provide minus 2, what will be the result that we are going to see? 466.28, comma minus 2. So what will happen? This decimal pointed values that they will discard, and only the integer part they will take. So the nearest 100 is which one? 400 or 500? The nearest one is 500. So they will round up the value to nearest value. That will be definitely 500. The result will be 500. So here you can see the output 457.63. That's the output for the first rounding. And for the second round function, the output will be 500. So that's the answer for that questions. Then we are moving to the next question. Select truncate of 457.628, comma 2. 457.628, comma minus 2. So we already seen what's the answer, how we will work out that particular question. So here you can see the difference, minus 2, 457.628 minus 2. So which one is the nearest 100? Here we provide truncate function. So whenever we are using truncate function, you need to remember one thing. Whenever we are using truncate function, they will provide only round down within the negative value, and for the positive value, they will just cut the decimal location. So 457.628 comma 2 means from the second decimal point onwards, they will cut the data. So this particular data that they will cut there. So the output will be 457.62. That will be the output. For the minus value, if you are using minus 2, 457.628 comma minus 2, what will happen? They will cut the decimal points and they will take the integer part, and then they will provide round down only. They will never round up the value if you are providing a truncate function along with the negative value. So they will round down the value. The value that will be, or the output will be 400 there. The output will be 400. So let's see another example that they are discussing there. Then we are moving to the next question. What's the purpose of pow? They will find the power of the given value. They will find the power. So we are going to execute that statement. Select power of 10 comma 3. 10 comma 3 means 10 raised to 3. 10 raised to 3, that will be the process that they will do there. Then mod of 12 comma 5. What will happen? When you are using mod function, they will get the remainder after dividing it. So 12 divided by 5, and they are providing the modulus operation there. So what will happen? The remainder that will be retrieved there. So 2, that will be the remainder, and here 10 into 10 into 10. So that will be the output that they will produce there. So here 1000 and 2, that will be the output for the pow and power. Pow means pow function. For that, what is the purpose of pow function? They will get the power of the provided value, and mod means they will take the modulus value. That means a remainder that will be retrieved there. Then we are moving to another function. Select year of, we are providing a date there, year, month and day that they are providing. So what will be the year that they will retrieve? 2020, that will be the year. Then month of, so what will happen? 04, that will be the month, and a day means 15. Day means 15. So like that, they will retrieve the data. This will be the output for that question. We are moving to the next question. Select day of year. We are providing a date there, then day of month and day of week. So what will be retrieved there when you execute this one? Day of year. The number of days that we already covered, that will be retrieved there. Then day of month means the number of days that we already covered within the specific month, and day of week means on which week that we will provide this particular date. So like that, they will retrieve the data. So here we can see 106, then 15, that's a day of month, and the day of week means that's the 4th week. Like that, they will retrieve the data. And we are moving to the next question. We are moving to another question. Select name comma upper of name comma lower of name comma length of name from employee. So employee table that they already generated with these particular values, and from this we are going to retrieve the data. So select name comma upper of name. So what will happen? The entire names that will be converted to uppercase, and then lower of name means the entire value that will be converted to lowercase. Then length of name means based on each data, they will retrieve the length. They will retrieve the length. So the entire data that will be taken, and based on that, they will convert the data to upper, lower, and they will retrieve the length of the specific names. So that will be this will be the output for this type of questions. You need to provide the output like this. So we are moving to another question. Select name comma left of name comma 3, then comma right of name comma 2 from employee. So what will happen? The original name that will be taken, and along with that left of name comma 3. So left of name comma 3 means the first 3 characters from the left hand side. They will retrieve first 3 characters from each name. From each name they will retrieve first 3 characters, and right of 2 means name comma 2 means from the right hand side they will retrieve 2 characters from the table employee. So what will be the output? So here you can see the first 3 characters and last 2 characters. So like that they will retrieve the data. So we will get the output questions for the board exam like this. So you need to provide the output like this. As a table you need to provide the output. So this will be the output that we will get. for that type of question. And then we are moving to another question. Name comma substring of name comma 2 comma 4. So what will happen? They are retrieving the name and then substring function. From the name field, you need to retrieve the value from second location onwards, from the second location onwards. So this will be the original name that we provided. Here you can see the original table. So this will be the column that we are retrieving, and then from the second character onwards 4 characters. From the second character onwards 4 characters. So here we will get the output like this. So this is another example based on substring function. This type of question that we can expect within the board exam. And then we are moving to another set of questions. So the next question is, what is the difference between where and having clause when used along with the select statement? Explain with an example. Then the next question is, explain the difference between update and alter command with the help of an example. So that's the 2 theoretical questions, and they are commonly asked within the board exam. So what is the difference between having clause and where clause? Within the where clause, we are providing normal conditions like greater than, less than, or equal to conditions that we will counter check there. But within the having, we can use aggregate function. So having that we will normally use along with the group by clause. And update and alter, what's the difference between update? The update statement that we will use for changing the existing value within the table, and alter command for changing the structure of the table. The update is DML command and alter is DDL command. So that's the difference between update and alter. So here you can see the answer for that. Where clause is used to apply conditions on individual rows. Based on individual rows, we can apply conditions within the where clause and not supporting aggregate functions. While having clause is used to apply conditions on groups, and it supports aggregate functions. It will support aggregate functions. That's the explanation. And here you can see the example based on that, based on where clause and based on group by. They provided the example. So like this, we need to provide the example for the theoretical questions. And then update and alter, they provide the explanation based on update and alter. So along with that, you need to specify a proper example. So like this, you need to write down a proper example based on the theoretical questions. Then we are moving to another question. Substring of Akhila minus 3. So what will happen? If you are providing substring of minus 3, what will be the output for this question that we are going to execute? So here you can see the SQL section. So minus 3, what they retrieved from the last section, they retrieved 3 values. From the last section, they retrieved 3 values. So if we provide minus 4 comma 2, what will be retrieved there? They move backward 4 characters, and from there 2 characters that they retrieved there. From minus 4 means from the last section, from the ending, they will move 4 characters backward. KILA, that will be, so within the K location, the cursor will be placed, and from there 2 characters KI that's retrieved there. So that's the another mechanism for using substring function. And then left of toolbar comma 4, left of toolbar comma 4. So what will happen? From the left hand side 4 characters, from the left hand side 4 characters. So what will be the output? Tool. That's the output for the left function. Then we are moving to another question that we already discussed. What's the difference between count of star and count of field name? Count of star will include the null values and count of field name will exclude the null values. So that's the difference. Then mod function. What is the purpose of this one? They will set the column name as modulus, and power they provide raised as the column name. Then current date plus 10. What will happen? This one is a different question. What will happen when you use current date plus 10? Along with the current date, they will add 10. Along with the current date, they will add 10. So here the current date is 02/02/2022. So I am going to edit this, so you will get a correct picture based on that. So this is the current date. So along with the current date, they add 10. So the hyphen that's avoided, but the answer is the correct one. So they will add 10 days along with the current day. Along with the current day, they will take 10 values. So 2022, 02, then 12. Current date is 2, so 2 plus 10, that's taken there. So like that they will add the value along with the current dates. So that's another example based on the functions. Then we are moving to another question. Select length of the provided string is corona COVID-19. That's the string that we passed there. So whenever we are counting the number of characters, they will definitely count the space as a single character. So they will count each character. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Space, that's 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So 15, that will be the length. Then L case means lower case. 15, that's the length. And the entire string that will be printed within the lower case. That's the example based on L case and length. So this type of question also that we can expect within the board exam based on the functions. Then here, consider the decimal number x with value. They are providing the decimal number like this. Write the command in SQL to round it off to a whole number. Round it off to a whole number. So what will be the command for rounding to the whole number? So if you provide the second argument as 0, they will cut the decimal location. They will cut the decimal location. They didn't copy it. So I will copy it and then we will paste it. Here you can see they cut the decimal value. So 0.3 that we provided there, that's less than 5. So they will cut that value. They will not round up there based on the math rule. Then here select a round of 7459.3654 comma 2. So, minus 2 means 100 location. So what will be the answer? And what is the question? Round it to 2 places before the decimal. Round it to 2 places before the decimal. So that's why we provide minus 2 there. Minus 2 there. So like that we can provide the query. So this type of question also that we can expect within the board exam. And don't expect the entire questions will be provided for finding the output. On certain situations, they will provide the questions for writing the correct function. For writing the correct function. That's another type of question that we can expect within the board exam. Then this question that we already discussed. Then here another question. Self-motivation, that's a string. We need to retrieve motivation or MOT, that's another string. Then another question is consider the same string, self-motivation, writes SQL command to display the position of the substring, motive. In this string, self-motivation, you need to retrieve the index location. Position means index location. Then the last 6 letters of the string, that also that you need to retrieve. So for motivation, you can use either substr of substring, substr substring function. Along with that, we will provide the original string. Then 5 means from the 5th occasion onwards, they will retrieve the value. And for the MOT output, we need to provide 5, 3. And for the next 2 questions, we will provide instr, in string function. So they will retrieve the index location based on the provided string. So this one is the original string and this one is the second string that we passed for identifying the index location. And then write of 6. What will happen? They will print the 6 letters from the right hand side or from the last location. They will retrieve 6 letters. So that's the query for that question. So this type of question also that we can expect. Then state any 2 differences between update and alter that we already discussed. What is data type? What are the main objectives of data type? So that also that you need to specify the proper description and you need to provide an example for that. So that's another type of question. Consider decimal number n with values. So here that given output 279. So you need to provide the query for getting this output 279 that you need to get there. So here round off 278.6975. There is no second argument that we didn't specify there. So what will happen? They will automatically cut the decimal point. So what will happen? They will print the whole number there. Then for the second one 280 that we need to get there. So what will be the value? Minus 1. Select round off the specific value comma minus 1. So we will round the value to the nearest 10. So like that we will provide the query for that type of question. Then another question is, consider a table employee that have fields EMPNO, name, department and salary. Based on the above table employee, Manvendra has entered the following SQL command. So what is wrong with this particular command? Whenever we are using null statement, is it permitted to use equal to sign? Is it permitted to use equal to sign? That's not permitted to use equal to sign along with the null value. You need to use is null. Is null. So that's the correction. Then write a SQL query to display the details of those employees whose salary column has some value. So is not null. So this is the answer for that type of question. Select start from employee where salary is null. That's the correction for the first query. And for the second question, you need to print those details whose salary field and then some value. So salary is not null. Salary is not null. So like that we can provide the query for these questions. So these are the questions that we are discussing in this video. Rest of the sections that we will discuss within the coming video. Thank you.